Welcome back to my next video on Vedic astrology. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about the effects of Sun if it happens to be in your 5th house. And for this purpose, I'm going to use only the Bhava chart and not the Rashi chart. But does that mean that the Rashi chart has nothing to do with your horoscope? No, it's not true, because from the Rashi chart, every other chart is derived. The Sun is exalted. It happens when it is in Aries or Mesha Rashi, or if the Sun is debilitated, or if the Sun is in its own house, in the Rashi of its enemy, in the Rashi of its friend. All this is to be known only from the Rashi chart. So let's move on to the green board to discuss this further.
The Sun in the 5th house. This is one example. You could have the ascendant on Aries or Mesha Lagna, and then the Sun in Leo. And in the Bhava chart also, if it continues to be in the 5th house, it is truly auspicious for the Sun to be here because it is his own house. And there are 12 different possibilities. This is the first one for Rishabha Lagna or Taurus ascendant. So the Sun has to be here if it has to be in the 5th house. So there are 12 different possibilities. You may shift the ascendant to any of the 12 houses and then keep the Sun in the 5th house. Let's look at the effects of the Sun if it happens to be in the 5th house, as told by Sage Bhrigu in Bhrigu Sutram. So let's use this example because here I've intentionally placed the Sun at its weakest point, because the first point isn't very nice. The Sun in the 5th house, Sage Bhrigu says nirdanaha, basically without money or facing poverty in his life. And stula dehi, of bulky body, meaning that the weight of the person could be above average. In his 7th year, his father may face misfortune, serious illness or death. Throughout Bhrigu Sutra, there are several rules like this, where a particular age of a person has been connected to an event without or regardless of the planetary period that is happening during, for example, during the 7th year. And also whenever you talk about someone else, for example, here the father is being mentioned. So what happened to the father's horoscope? The father must also be at the same time running a planetary period that is indicating serious illness or misfortune or even the possibility of death. If it is indicated in the horoscope either through the Dasha Bhukti scheme or the Dasha Bhukti of the father, and then when the person has the Sun in the 5th, the 7th year is indeed a point where the father goes through extraordinary trouble. In my experience, I've actually seen this happening. The native will be wise and brilliant, Medhavi, wise, and Buddhiman, intelligent or brilliant, Alpa Putra. So Alpa means less and not denial of children. Alpa Putra means few children. But then in the next line he says, Bhava Dipe Balayute Putra Siddhi. So basically here is asking us to recheck on the status of the Lord of the 5th. If the Lord of the 5th is well placed and strong, the Sun in the 5th completely becomes different and it blesses the person with good children. In the next line he says, Rahu Ketu Yute. That is, if Rahu or Ketu is associated with the Sun, then Sarpa Shapat Sutakshaya. So basically, due to the curse of the serpent god, there is the possibility of loss of children. If the Sun is in conjunction with Mars, Kuja Yute, Shatru Yute Mulat. So there will be loss of children due to enemy, because Mars is related to violence and enemies. But there will be no such loss if the combination of the Sun and Rahu, or Sun and Ketu, or Sun and the Mars is aspected by a benefic Jupiter or Venus. Incidentally, I would like to tell you, if the Sun is with Rahu or with Ketu, then the person was born during the month when there were 2 eclipses, one the solar eclipse and the lunar eclipse. The Sun is severely afflicted if the Sun is with Rahu or Ketu, and therefore this could make the person childless unless remedies are being resorted to. Normally it is understood that remedies means only prayers and the typical astrological remedies. Remedies may also include modern day treatment by infertility specialists, doctors, where huge sums of money have to be spent for the treatment. If the Sun is in the 5th house, the native will be a devotee of Sun God. If the sun is strong, the children will be prosperous. So balayute putra samriti. So the children will be doing well if the sun is also strong. Strong means in Shadbala and maybe also Vimshopaka Bala, where the planet is in a very good mood in most of the charts. So throughout Bhrigu Sutra, you will find that it is not simply a one-line statement made by the Rishi that what happens if the sun is in the fifth house, regardless of how the sun is. So he goes into the depth. So this I usually refer as conditions apply. Whereas if you read other books, you might find some statement being made without conditions apply. Brihat Jataka, a classical textbook by Sri Varahamira, says the person concerned will be childless and without wealth. So it's obvious that the sun must be in a very bad state, a bad situation for this to happen. Faladipika, the native will be bereft of happiness, wealth, and children. Again, the same thing holds good here. And Faladipika also says short-lived, be intelligent and wise, and will be fond of wandering in the jungles. Saravali, the native will be unhappy, poor, without children, agriculturist, resident of mountainous regions, wise, without bodily strength, and short-lived. Chamatkar Chintamani, the native will lose his eldest son. He will be very intelligent and influence others by superior knowledge. He will accumulate wealth. He will die on account of some stomach ailment. It's very clear that most of the classical textbooks have a lot to say about the two aspects of our life, children and wealth, as far as the sun in the fifth goes. But to really understand what is possible, then you'll have to look at the status of the sun.
I hope you have gained some knowledge in Vedic astrology by watching this video. And in case you have any doubts, please type them out in the comment section. And whenever I find the time, I'll answer them for you.